What's up guys, AlterGenesis here, bringing you another farming video for Duel Links. This time we're gonna do Jaden, farm Jaden level 40. And normally the deck that is most commonly used is Dark Paladin Balance. I'll show you the deck in the middle screen, which is what was most commonly used to farm Jaden. Now this is probably one of the cheaper versions, meaning you only need like one UR. So even if you don't have King of the Swamp, you can just, replace it. Even I only have one. You could just replace it for another fusion material tribute. And if you don't have a fusion sage, you can just replace that with another emblem of Dragon Destroyer. Just add another Buster Blader to your deck. It kind of throws off the balance consistency a bit, but it can still work. And you really only need one Dark Paladin. If you don't have the second one, you can just use Dark Flare Knights to summon on the last turn, so you can get over 9,199 damage. Basically, this deck is pretty straightforward. You try to get Dark Paladin out as early as possible, and you negate Jaden's Polys and his Skyscraper, and then you just make it to the last turn. In the case that you don't have Dark Paladin, the deck I'm showing you today, which is I'm showing you on the right side, is a Paradox Brothers Labyrinth wall build. Now it kind of uses the same idea where you want to try to negate all of Jaden's key spells, and I'll just have a brief explanation of kind of how it works. So basically what you have here, as I pull it up on my screen, on the middle screen here, is that you have your drawing power, because Jaden can run through his deck pretty quickly. So these are all fiends, the Dark Mimic level 1 and level 3. And so basically what you're going to do is that you want to draw into either your Ultimate Providence or your Spell Vanishing. Now, Spell Vanishing is an interesting card because for discarding 2 cards from your hand, you can negate a spell and destroy it, and destroy any other spells of the same one that you negated to the graveyard. So basically, if you use Spell Vanishing on one of Jaden's Polys, then the other one in the deck will go to the graveyard, and you don't have to worry about his fusion summoning monsters, which is part of the problem with, like, it will destroy like your Labyrinth wall, like his fusion monsters. And even if, let's say you don't have Spell Vanishing, you just use Ultimate Prov to discard one of the mimics to the graveyard to negate the fusion summon monster, like with the effects of the fusion summon monster. And this works because the mimics are fiends, and you use those as fodder for Dark Necrofear on the last turn. And in case, let's say, you have a Spell Vanishing and you don't have any of your Dark Mimics with you, you can use, one of your other cards, let's say your Union Attack or your Anti-Magic Arrows. You can discard those to the graveyard, and then you can put them back into your deck with Pot of Benevolence. Now, the risk you run there is that Jaden could deck out before you, but you kind of take those chances with this kind of a budget deck. As you can see, there's literally no super rares or ultra rares from packs. These are all either dual rewards or like drops. And Dark Necrofear comes default with Bakura. So this is a very cheap, free-to-play deck, and it can consistently, maybe 7 out of 10, farm Jaden for 7,000 to 8,000. So we'll just get into a replay quickly right here to show you how it works, and some certain plays that you could do depending on how your opening hand starts up. Okay, so we're jumping into the replay right now, and we'll show you how the deck kind of functions. So in this case, we're going second, which is always good. You end up with 5 cards instead of 4. So we have a good starting hand here. We have a Providence and our Necrofear. As you can see, Jaden can thin through his deck pretty quick. And you do end up 2 cards behind when you send 2 cards back to your deck for Labyrinth Wall. So this is good. I pick up a Dark Mimic, so I set the Ultimate Providence on the field. And if he does manage to fusion summon the fusion summon monster that can destroy a monster in the field with attack less than its original attack, I forgot what it was called, but you want to keep at least one of the monsters in your hand when you have an Ultimate Providence set so you can negate it. Other than that, feel free to set the mimics for draw power so you can catch up to Jaden decking out. So we have a spell vanishing now, and this is really good. We're in a really good position. We have a spell vanishing and Ultimate Providence set, and we're not afraid of like Neo Space Hero because Labyrinth Wall has 0 attack. Even if he plays Skyscraper, he can't get over top of it because Skyscraper will only increase his Elemental Hero's attack if the monster it's attacking has higher attack. I actually really like how the music changes when he summons Neos. So it's interesting with this game that he doesn't actually have poly, or he chooses not to play it. But either way, we're pretty well prepared for it. And when your hand starts getting full, just if you already have a Providence or a Spell Vanishing set, feel free to discard those extra ones to the grave. And just saying the Mimic just allows us to get extra draws, and now you can see we're like even in deck count. So here he activates Poly, and immediately, instead of using Ultimate Providence, I use Spell Vanishing and discard one of the Mimics and the other Ultimate Providence. And as you can see, like once that's negated, his other Poly goes to the grave as well. So now I'm not worried about anything. Now we're in great shape to make it to the last turn. So I played the Pot of Benevolence just in case. We're already ahead of him in deck count, but just to show you that like if he does end up low, you can always play Pot of Benevolence to send cards to his grave back to his deck. So basically this is basically the perfect farm here. So on our last turn, we summon Dark Necrofear first. That's the first thing in attack position. And then we play Shield and Sword, which reverses all their attacks. So now you can see that Labyrinth Wall has 3000 attack and Dark Necrofear is 2800. So now we summon our Vassal and go for the usual Secret Pass, double Union attack. Keep in mind that this deck does have anti-magic arrows in it, because since we're not attacking into his monsters as you would with a Dark Paladin deck, he doesn't use a negate attack, so you need anti-magic arrows for negate attack. And if you don't have negate attack, you can use Trap Jammer or something to negate traps instead. And there you go. Easy, successful farm of Jaden there. Now we're going to jump into a second replay. Just to show you some different scenarios. So here's a little bit of a brick hand. but we do have 2 Dark Mimics. So this can happen, but you can salvage it if you draw into one of your trap negations before he he fuses one of his major boss monsters. So perfect, I draw into Ultimate Providence. And I keep a dark, make sure to always keep a monster in your hand. So he does have Poly. And so here's Thunder Giant, which is of course going to activate his effect to destroy my Labyrinth wall. So luckily I drew into Ultimate Providence so I can discard Dark Mimic to negate it. Sometimes you can get unlucky, and he could return those fusion material monsters to his hand and summon another Sparkman. It happens, which is why it's normally better to play Dark Paladin. So here he has no cards in his hand, so I get lucky that he can't actually destroy my Labyrinth wall. And I draw another Ultimate Providence to negate his second Thunder Giant. So this one here I get a little bit lucky. But otherwise, now that his both Thunder Giants are gone, now it's an easy farm. So at this point you can just set your mimics and try to end the duel as fast as possible. Also be careful not to set, this is kind of a mistake, try not to set the cards that you need for your last turn, because you can destroy your spells. So you don't want to run the risk of him destroying a shield and sword or your secret pass to the treasures if they're set. If you can help it, try not to set them. So same thing for your last turn. Necrofear, Shield and Sword, Double Secret Pass, and Anti-Magic Arrows. And there you go, that's another successful farm. Now, just like the first video, I'm going to jump into a live duel and show you one more time how to play the deck. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. What we're really going for is just negation. Okay, this time we're going first. Hopefully we don't have a brick starting hand. That's pretty good. Starting out with all the necessary traps. This is kind of risky because I don't have 2 cards in my hand for it to negate poly. So if he does play poly right now, I am kind of screwed. So I probably should have kept Ultimate Providence. Okay, we're okay. He doesn't play poly, we're okay. We have 2 cards in the hand and they're both fiends. So if he does play poly, we'll negate it. So we're in good shape right now. Okay, there's poly. Perfect. We can play Spell Vanishing. Discard our 2 mimics. Poly's negated. You can look through his hand. He doesn't have a poly in his hand, so the poly in his deck. Oh, he had the poly on the field. Interesting choice that he didn't choose. Well, I guess he didn't have it available. He didn't have Thunder Giant available. So now that he's used both his polys, we'll be fine. So now it's just, at this point, it's just trying to get to the last turn as fast as possible to make this farm go as painless. I'll set a Providence just in case, but I don't think anything bad can happen at this point. But sometimes he does play Blaze Man, and he keeps like sending monsters from his grave using Blaze Man, and he can deck out. So there's a time where I negated the Blaze Man because he was gonna deck out too quick. So that can't happen. So have a Providence set regardless. So generally the safer play in the beginning is to set Providence instead of Spell Vanishing, if you're going first. Oh, don't want to negate my own monster. That's happened a few times. So be careful, like when you're just kind of rushing through, mashing buttons, try not to negate your own stuff. So now we're going to use the Pot of Benevolence, send a few monsters back to his deck. And send back the Clayman. The Bullet Man are pretty useless at this point. Or even a Fusion Sage because both his polys are in the grave. Just keep discarding our extra Ultimate Providences. And we safely made it to our last turn. So remember to pay attention, don't screw this up. So the first thing you do is you summon Necrofear. And then you play Shield and Sword. Turn Labyrinth Wall into attack position. Then you summon your Gravekeeper's Resolve. I'm gonna turn this off just so I don't negate it. Use your Secret Pass. Double Union attack. And don't forget to turn your toggle back to on once you finish this, because you need to play anti-magic arrows at the start of the battle phase. And there you go. And there you go, that's a perfect farm right there. We picked up nothing good. That's how it's been for the last few farms I've been testing this deck, but yeah, 7700. And that's our cheap free-to-play Jaden farm deck. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I'm happy to help. Alright, thanks again guys. This is AlterGenesis signing out.